New earthquake swarm at Campi Flegrei near Naples in Italy. Super volcano with more than 6 million people in the direct range. Magnitude 3.2 was the largest. We will look into this, but also there was an earthquake in a very unusual spot outside that blue intervention zone that they call the Brady seismic intervention zone for Campi Flegrei. So in an area where usually we do not see earthquakes, it was in Fuorigrotta under the Mostra d'Oltremare. We will look into this. What does that mean? Is now through the land rise underneath Pozzuoli, the Solfatara area where all the Campi Flegrei craters are located, is that stretching into other areas, or is this just a diversification of tension, or is it completely unrelated? We will look into this. The Vesuvius Observatory has given a statement about that. But guys, now tourist season, beautiful weather, and Campi Flegrei is boosting out another swarm. And I've recently read an article about all these areas, the Mediterranean, the Aegean Sea, and Greece, Turkey, Italy, and they were giving warnings to tourists. How do you prepare for natural disasters? It was like an official travel warning, and what you should do if there's a tsunami, if there's an earthquake, if you're sliding down the hill with your hotel. So you would think that if you go to vacation, you can lie on your bench looking at the sea and go swimming and just relax in the sun and not have your emergency preparedness kit with you all the time, because various things could happen. But honestly, I don't think this is exaggerated. I think the tourists should really know about that. We have seen volcanoes, Santorini, underwater volcanoes, Colombo, we have Marsilli, then earthquakes in Crete, volcanoes on Sicily, earthquakes. It's crazy. And all these underwater volcanoes or earthquakes could trigger underwater landslides or big tsunamis. And now Etna. That was dangerous. That was a close call for these tourists. But I told you, and I'll put this in the end screen because I think many of you haven't seen it. A flank broke at Etna, but that's not the real danger. The real danger lurks in areas that you cannot see. At the mountain underneath the stratovolcano, Etna's breaking apart. And a big chunk of Etna where we don't see it could slide into the ocean. And this is underneath the waterline. This is what's going on. Could break away, causing a huge tsunami. So Etna is not what it looks from the top. Check out the video in the end screen, guys. But now, Campi Flegrei. We will also talk about the recent bulletin. So I want to start about the earthquake swarm. So look at the list. Basically, it started already on June 3rd. With a 1.0, and these are only the earthquakes above 1.0. There's more microseismic, smaller earthquakes as well. So, and then we had another one on the 4th, and then on the 5th, it started out with a 2.1, and then a 1.0, then a 2.3, followed by a 3.2, and then 2.1, and then it goes on. And then just today, another higher one at 2.8. So it's a larger swarm, we can say, with also larger earthquakes for a volcano, for Campi Flegrei. So we will have to see how this unfolds. But when we look at the bulletin, that has shown us that there was an earthquake on June 1st under Fuorigrotta. And that was a little bit concerning, but Mauro Di Vito from the Vesuvius Observatory says it's a very rare tremor in Fuorigrotta, but it's not anomalous. That's what he is saying. And the depth of this earthquake was 2.8 kilometers. It was very shallow. And as I said, what was kind of strange that it was not in the usual Brady seismic intervention zone. In case you don't know, Brady seism is what's going on at Campi Flegrei. The land is rising, we have earthquakes, and we have increased gas emissions, the fumaroles. The Fuorigrotta earthquake had a low magnitude. So it had only a 0.6 magnitude, but the location, rare, very rare. Mauro Di Vito, he's the director of the Vesuvius Observatory, he said, because the press was asking him, is that anomalous? Is that concerning? Is something traveling? And he said, no, it's not anomalous. They are rarer, but they happen. In short, no particular alarm for earthquakes that also occur beyond that blue intervention zone that you see here on the map. Also, he comments on the recent earthquake swarm. He says, for now, we have not found any anomaly in this swarm. Well, it has become kind of normal that Campi Flegrei and that these poor people are being rattled all the time. Also, when we look at the bulletin for the last week, he says there are no short-term significant evaluations, but they say in the week, May 26th to June 1st, 49 earthquakes with magnitude greater than 0 were recorded. And the ground continues to rise. It's another sign, together with the earthquakes, that Brady seism is continuing. Basically, since the beginning of April this year, the average land rise per month is about 1.5 centimeters with an error range of 0.5 centimeter. And since January 2024, the total uplift is 28 centimeters. That's about that much. That's quite significant. And you also see the graph of the uplift rate here. Also, the bulletin confirms the increased trends of increased flows and heating of the hydrothermal system underneath Campi Flegrei. The sensor that they have installed at the fumarolic system at a 5-meter distance from the main fumarole in Peschiarelli last week showed an average of roughly 96 degrees Celsius. So with this bulletin, the trend of heating and pressurization of the hydrothermal system and the increase in the flow of emitted fluids is confirmed. And we had some recent studies that were very, very concerning. The last study, for me, this was a call to, for me, if I lived there, that was, okay, get out while you can. This was a significant study. I'll put it in the end screen if you're interested in that, guys. But right now, really, we have several noticeable earthquakes, epicenters around Pozzuoli, again in the early morning hours, has caused alarm amongst the population again. And of course, if it's so early in the morning, you're sleeping, you're in your bed. And the biggest one occurred at 6:48 local time, had a magnitude of 3.2. Depth, shallow again, 2.7 kilometers. So that's basically in the lower area of the hydrothermal system. Epicenter in the Peschiarelli district, east of the Solfatara, where we also have all these heated fumaroles. The INGV and the municipality of Pozzuoli have warned about this new swarm. And that comes in light of just another public meeting yesterday that was held in Pozzuoli, attended by the mayors and the municipalities that are affected by this Brady seism, as well as representatives from the civil protection and INGV authorities. So the concerns of the local residents were discussed and reassured that officials are continuing to work on measures to ensure continuous monitoring of events in the caldera. But many scientists say, well, you can monitor like you want, but that doesn't guarantee safety. And as I said, the last study basically confirms we could see a explosive phreatic eruption at any time. And they compare it with Monte Nuovo when that crater was formed. First, a phreatic explosion that was making way for the magma that later came for another big eruption. So the scientists, more and more of them, do not rule out that we could see something else than just earthquakes and a land rise. Because what is earthquake and land rise? And increased pressure in the hydrothermal system, and increased gas emissions, and increased temperatures. That's what we usually see when a volcano prepares for eruption. And this is a bad one, guys. So I hope you were interested in this. If you did, please like it, subscribe, and check out the videos in the end screen. I have very, very interesting stuff about the landslide in Switzerland and about another threat from another village with even more inhabitants. And again, the Etna thing. Very, very scary. Check out my channel, subscribe, go to the video, click on videos on my channel and on recent, then you see a list of everything that you need to see, guys. And if you want to support the channel, I do have a buy me a coffee site. It's called buymeacoffee.com/silky. The link is in the description of this video. You can buy me a coffee there, leave me a message, and I will answer you with a 30-second video message, and you can video me back so we can actually see each other and have a chat over a coffee. Thanks for supporting my channel, guys, with the supers, with the coffees, with your memberships, and I see you very, very soon. Hopefully. Stay safe, guys.